signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in our use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
All right, so we are on air. All right, so it's been an interesting morning so far. I played the wrong theme. Everything was just was not right. All right, so we are here for another Cop Chat program, and in studio is Christal and Roleza as hosts. And why what happening with today's? Probably because it's Thursday.
Probably, but the theme is Belvedere Neighborhood Watch, working together for safer communities. And the number to call is an interactive program is 457-9997. The number to WhatsApp also is 457-9997. Our guest in studio, Mr. Edson Smith. He's a corporal of police within the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. We've also got Mr. Simeon Bacchus, who's the public relations officer within the Belvedere Neighborhood Group. And another member of the Belvedere Neighborhood Group is Mr. Ronnie Daniel, committee member. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, thank you for having us.
You have to get close to the microphone.
Are you hearing me now? I was just saying thank you for having us.
Okay. All right. So let me just do some really quick.
Mm-hmm. All right, so while Christal does something very quick. All right, so I just want to formally welcome you to our studios. And I know that the Community Neighborhood Watch is a thing that I grew up hearing, but it's I'm not sure if it's a case where you're going to say it's being revamped. If that's the case, so we would allow you to begin. I don't know who wants to take charge here.
I'll give the PR for the Belvedere.
Okay.
Okay, so
and
so Belvedere Neighborhood Watch Group.
And wait, did we introduce them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good.
Belvedere Neighborhood Watch Group was established on the 14th of December 2014, and we had our bylaws, and we have also developed some objectives. The objectives of the Belvedere Neighborhood Watch Group, there are 10 objectives. They are to promote a greater level of security throughout the community with the assistance of the law enforcement officers and residents. Number 2, to promote community interaction and build togetherness. 3, to promote healthy lifestyles within the community. And we'll speak about those, that one in particular soon. Number 4, to encourage the social development of the community and a healthy environment. 5, to raise funds and receive contributions where appropriate to finance the work in the community. 6, to facilitate charitable activities for the development of the community. 7, to promote the upkeep and maintenance of infrastructure in the community, working in collaboration with the relevant stakeholders. 8, to collaborate with similar groups and exchange information. 9, to facilitate cooperative conflict resolution within the community. And 10, to promote activities that will sustain BNWG, which is Belvedere Neighborhood Watch Group.
Oh.
And all these objectives we can speak to. Maybe if not in this program, maybe later in another program.
Okay.
I also to add, it's one of those things, to directly address your question.
Mm-hmm.
The Neighborhood Watch Group, there are many active established groups within St. Vincent and the Grenadines. it's one of those things that you have to actively be a part of, to actually know what is going on. So, if you're living in a community, that there's not an active neighborhood watch group, then you probably need to ask the question, why aren't we organizing? Why aren't we coming together and putting together, an organization looking out for the best interests of our neighborhood? I couldn't list a few, with the exception of the Belvedere Neighborhood Watch Group that has already been established through Mr. Bacchus. There's the Layu Neighborhood Watch Group, Golden Grove, there's Stony Grounds, one that I'm actually not a member of, but they have adopted me, so to speak.
Oh, it's like that?
No, what I mean, as police officers, we have a vested interest in the safety of community members, and one of the best ways to ensure that that community members are feeling safe, or feeling that we are looking out for the interests, to basically adopt, so to speak, one of these community groups, to help them, a symbiotic relationship of interest, so that they could always realize that and adhere to strategies that we suggest, and we could always share trends, they could always be informed, things like that.
Okay, so as you mentioned this, though, is it a case where police officers are a part of all neighborhood watch groups? I didn't want to say watches, but watch groups.
Well, it would be a situation where we would act consultational capacity, where if a community is interested in establishing a neighborhood watch group, the Public Relations and Complaints Department gives them the tools, and they even might assign an officer to help them with the organizational aspect of it, to bring it out from the grassroots. I hope that answers your question.
Okay.
Yes.
And one of the questions was how many neighborhood groups there were, but you started mentioning Layu, Golden Grove, Stony
There's
Ground.
quite a lot. That's what came to my mind. But there are quite a lot throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
All right, that's good.
Yes.
Let's go back to
There's also Golden Vale, if you're making a list.
Thank you.
There's
Golden
also
Grove.
Golden Vale,
Yeah.
who we also helped to establish.
Okay.
And we have been a support to YAP, which is Yambu, Argyle, Provenvale. That's another neighborhood watch group that is established, that has been established. And there's recently called a neighborhood watch group that I know of.
Interesting.
Okay. And is there one at Sinai Bay? Is this
Yes,
the
there's-
thing that I
there's
saw?
one
Okay,
at
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Growing up, I
Okay.
knew about that one. Let's go back to the 2014. What was the deciding factor to say, let's start a neighborhood watch in Belvedere?
Well, actually, we found that there were some persons living in the community who were living alone, right? There were some persons who were living alone, and they have expressed interest to more or less partner with others, right? So we started this. It wasn't really, it didn't start off being a neighborhood watch as such, but it's like a committee. We wanted to support the elderly and those who are living alone. And so we had a police officer, at least he was a commissioner of police, I think at the time, or I can't remember now if he was actually the sitting commissioner of police, but Mr. Keith Miller was also on board, and he decided, well, let us turn it into a neighborhood watch group, where we can do more than looking into just the elderly.
Okay.
All right. So to hear from Mr. Daniel, as a committee member of the Belvedere Neighborhood Watch, I noticed that Mr. Bacchus listed many things, and it didn't just sound like a neighborhood watch, but it sounded more like what is the word? I'm trying to find more like a
Civil
society, social club, because it's a
Yeah.
number of activities that you have, not just, and that's why I asked if police officers are generally a part of it, because when I thought of neighborhood watch, I'm just thinking of it in terms of
Everybody
persons
by the
looking out
window.
for each other,
Yeah.
looking out for
Yeah.
each other in terms of your safety and your security. But there is more to a group like this than just, or it goes hand in hand, looking out for members, safety and security, but it goes beyond that. So in terms of your role on the committee, the full extent of everything, can you speak a bit more to it?
Well, thank you very much. I am relatively new to the committee itself, although I have been active for the last, about almost 10 years. Well, I moved to Brighton in 2012. And then by 2014, 2015, when we had our first Christmas light up ceremony, that was the best for me. I don't think we've matched that since. But I have always been active in community, but because Brighton Belvedere is such an expansive and neighborhood. You have several communities, and it's a highly residential area. I thought it a good thing as well to get involved. So I have committed to the Neighborhood Watch. But even before that commitment, I had been participating in activities here and there, fundraisers. We did a fantastic, I think that was our very first light up in 2015 or thereabouts. And since then, I've been part of the activities. During COVID, we took a break in terms of the social activities for obvious reasons. But since then, we've been active, and we resumed our lighting up ceremony for the Christmas season last year after a 2 or 3 years break. But as is noted in the objectives, the group is more than just a watch group and looking out your window and see who is strange and so on. If you notice the objectives, the group caters for the wholesome development of members. And I wasn't aware until Mr. Bakker said that it started as just a concerned citizens, and I think that's good, because the founders saw a need, came together, and dealt with it, and the committee grew into what it is now. I think in the context of the changing circumstances in our community, in our nation, where crime is concerned, I think it is almost a given that each community should have a neighborhood watch. And I know the police started this about 20 years ago. Well, not quite, but I remember being part of the preliminary conversations. It's well over a decade ago. Our president was then the sitting commissioner, but I was representing the Christian Council then at those conversations, because I think we were trying to look at what was happening in Jamaica, and the retired police officer, Superintendent Artis Davis, was also involved. Yes. In this neighborhood concept, and because it was relatively new, I think, at that time, and then from then it just took off. Although I think communities had been looking out for each other before, but that's this central tenet of our communities. But it's important for persons to be a part of community groups, and especially community watch groups, neighborhood watch, because not just to help each other and so on, but to build the community. And I think Belvedere Neighborhood Watch is an example of that. Sion Hill, long before Neighborhood Watch, I know the Sion Hill community had been and other communities, Calico, I know, French's. I lived at Hospital Road and Montrose, Lomans Hill area. Those were solid communities, even before they had serious organizations, So I think they build community, and I would recommend highly that communities think seriously about and forming these neighborhood watches or watch.
All right.
Yeah.
So a question to Smith. In the communities where there are you say watches? Is watches you would say?
Yeah, neighborhood watches.
Watch groups. I don't know, saying
groups.
watches just sounds so weird, but all right. So watch groups. Right? Watch groups, right? Do you find that there is a decrease in criminal activity? Are there stats to say yes or no to this?
I didn't work with any stats in particular, but what I could say, the watch groups that I would have been integrally a part of, in helping them with the establishment and stuff, through Public Relations and Complaints Department, they would have begun, or they would have started or established the neighborhood watch groups out of an abundance of concern, with the safety of the community, the treatment of, there were problems, especially one that comes to mind with people using their yards, the backyard to enter into other people's yards to go to different places and stuff. So they would have come to the fore with a lot of concerns, and the concerns would have caused them to organize. And this organization rapidly developed into something very big. And Mr. Bacchus would have stated, a lot of the benefits of the establishment of watch groups. I would even go so far to say, I would have been integrally a part of, hosting martial arts type classes for the elderly, because one of the concerns that would have come about is that I don't feel safe in my home. So the police was integrally a part of, dispatching people who would be able to teach the elderly martial arts techniques, grappling techniques, rape defense techniques, so that community members could, especially elderly and women, vulnerable people in society, the aged, the disabled, kids, but there were a lot of kids there, to be able to defend themselves and give them a sense of power. And that's what these groups are about. You give community members, each individual who is a part of these organized groups, the power to defend themselves, and the police has the additional benefit of being a part of these groups. I am familiar with who attends the meetings. I have a layout of who lives here, so that when I, as a police officer, when I conduct my patrols in the community, because I am already a part of these groups, I know Christal attends meeting. I know what vehicle Christal drives, that if I happen to know, if I happen to be in Christal's community and I see a different type of vehicle or truck in Christal yard, because I am already, in interaction with Christal through these meetings, I'll be able to call Christal and say, Christal, I see a truck in your yard. You moving?
Well, what had happened was,
you understand?
It's who driving your vehicle.
And that's the added benefit to the police, to help us do our patrols, to help us to be able to assist you better, because we would be able to see, okay, I know Mr. Daniel, I know what he drives, I know how he carries himself, I know his patterns.
Right,
Yeah.
So really help. I think, directly answering your question, it would definitely bring a significant improvement to the feeling and safety in the community.
It in customer service they'll call it know your customer.
Of course.
So
Yes,
Roddy.
Well, we kind of the customers too,
Yeah,
Police,
so know your
Yeah.
I have a question. It might be a little bit silly and embarrassing, but where's
When he gave you a
For
clue,
those of
he
you
said, Belmont, right? I'm like,
Brighton. he said
Brighton. So I'm like, wasn't it further out? Isn't it further out?
For those of you who heard Christal whisper and didn't hear exactly what she said, I'm going to embarrass her. She's asking, where is Bellevue there? Okay?
Belvedere, okay.
Okay.
So Belvedere is on the way from Prospect. After that village Prospect, or what we call the area Prospect. When you get to, there's a highway going on the main road from Prospect. When you get to a junction, just before the Adventist Church, on the left-hand side by the bus stop, there is a road that goes down on the right-hand side that is entering Belvedere. And it goes down to Brighton.
Right. So there's a corner.
Before you meet that corner,
Before
right on the main road on the stretch.
Isn't that Brighton?
There's
Yeah?
a road, right?
You
There's
could
a
go to Brighton
road.
as well from that.
There's a road on the right-hand side, a gap. You go into that road that is entering Belvedere, and further down is Brighton.
Oh, so this gap is after Brighton Gap. No.
Oh, okay, so you know where the dome-shaped church
I know
is?
where the dome-shaped church
There's
is.
a bus stop right there at the base of that hill.
Right.
So on the right side, the first road on the right, that's where you enter Belvedere.
Oh.
Easy to find.
By the pork place.
Right.
Correct.
My Lord, this is how you know it?
Okay, so that's-
Yeah, there's a little pork shop. There's
There's a
a
pork
they
shop.
sell like roast pork and
Bingo.
thing.
Yes.
That's one road to Belvedere.
Okay.
The other road is before that.
Okay.
There's a wide entrance, a
Yes.
wider entrance.
Okay.
They normally call that Belvedere Gateway. That is what I grew up
Oh,
hearing. They
okay.
call it Belvedere Gateway.
Okay.
So you go in that road, you that takes you to Ebenezer Gospel Hall Church and Huffles Ranch. Used to be Huffles Ranch, is now Phoenix Ranch.
Right, right.
So that road takes you directly there.
Okay.
So
Now we
Crystal,
know.
what you're essentially saying is that we need to move a motion and add Brighton to Belvedere.
Perhaps.
But it's one big community.
Yeah. That's what the
Brighton,
confusion.
Belvedere community.
Or we could put it
Can tell I
in
don't
a
go out
separate
so
one,
often.
Brighton neighborhood.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Somebody's asking on WhatsApp, and you could always WhatsApp us at 4579997. Question to the police. Oh, this is more of a question, a police question, but they're asking what are the legal rules of engagement when someone enters your property illegally?
What are the rules of engagement?
Legal rules of engagement.
Are there? It's all
Well, I mean,
No holds barred.
if your life is threatened,
all right.
you defend yourself. I don't. That's a principle.
Mhm.
I don't think that stretches beyond the law.
Okay.
Once you dispatch your protective rights in a punchable manner, not you taking advantage of people. And,
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to be a legal expert to know how to defend your property.
Okay. All right. And this would be part of your neighborhood watch group. Whenever you have your meetings, is what you do X, Y,
Well,
Z.
And
I believe they're having a police consultation meeting sometime.
Yeah, we'll
soon.
be having a meeting
Yes.
on the 4th of April
Yes.
at the Ebenezer Gospel Hall Church at 5:30 p.m. We have an invitation coming to the press because we like to have the press there. So you can get as much information as possible so we can
Tactics, strategies.
right, because when you mentioned the defense for women, the vulnerable, the elderly, etc.,
Yes.
part of it, what also came to my mind as well was security of homes in terms of letting persons know at these neighborhood watch, and maybe this is why it's good for persons to also be a part of it, because you get all the information that you need in terms of home security, how to defend yourself, how to defend your property in one setting, as opposed to having to reach out to the police on a one-on-one basis. So that is also one of the good reasons to join a neighborhood watch, because I'm thinking of, all right, so yes, I might know self-defense, or I might not know how to execute it properly, but the first step might be for me to know how to secure my home. So even in these other things, passing on of that information, especially with the police's involvement in the neighborhood watch, would be of importance. So
And I think one of the I suppose this is something we will have the state will, from a policy level, the state will have to take into consideration. But I think it will have to be groups like our neighborhood watch and others to put some pressure on the state, meaning there are, like, if my road alone, one there's a vacant piece of land, it's huge, and right now it's overgrown, and it does pose a security threat. What I have been in the habit of doing is first of all, I found out who the land belonged to, and then I found out who the caretaker was on the ground. Then I politely called her some years ago and said, well, watch, the land is overgrown. And the neighbors have concerns because it may pose a security threat. People coming from work late at evening, and sometimes I take the bus, I walk in, and there are also females, young ladies who, come home from work at, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Can you have it cut? And I am willing to contribute something to do that, even though it's not my land, but it's in my best interest and in the interest of the community to have it cut. So I think things like that. I know we don't have specific laws that mandate that people keep their lands, vacant lands, in a particular way, so as to ensure that the community stays aesthetically beautiful, but also doesn't pose an unnecessary threat. I know in Europe, UK and so on, they do have, you can't make your trees go over the road, you can't. And I'm not saying, because hanging trees do provide some
shade,
some shade and so on. But where they are in locations where they are likely to pose a threat, then the law must deal with that, and the law must empower communities and neighborhood watches to be able to deal with things like that. So I think that is something I would like to see going forward, and I think neighborhood watch groups like ours and others could begin to advocate for things like that. You know,
Yes, I love that point.
So that's something personally I would like to see going forward, because I know it is an issue. I had a friend visited from Russia, and they fell in love with St. Vincent. Or she fell in love with St. Vincent, wants to buy a property here. And we went searching last week, and the first thing, she was just out of her mind because she liked the property, but next door to that property is a vacant land, trees are overgrown, and she was going crazy. And I really, it hit home to me, you know, that we need to deal with things like that. You know, owners are overseas or they're somewhere and
or abandoned buildings.
Abandoned, our property that's just there because no proper deed, etc.
Right.
is
So
there.
I think things like that we need to begin to consider in this to make the community look nice, but also to make it safer.
Safe. Okay.
You know?
There are a few situations like that we are working on right now. There's an abandoned house somewhere on my street, on C Street, that we are trying to resolve what they're doing with it. Also, in terms of street lights, we also were able to advocate to have street lights fitted on some poles in our community.
Lovely.
You know, as you raise this, I know we need to take a break. Sorry. As you raise this, you know, I remember when I moved into my area, we didn't have street lights at the time, and I also wondered if it was okay, because the pole existed, for us to just have solar lights. Like me, I could import a solar light and place it on the lamppost, you know, and I mean, luckily I didn't have to go through all of that because Vilnet did. But that's the thing. But I was concerned about my safety because of the fact that at the time that I moved there, it was only probably like two of us, who were there. So I had to be concerned about my safety, you know. So I mean, yes, I know it probably was illegal to put anything on Vilnet lamp pole, but I had to think about it.
Probably. Newsflash, listeners, don't travel anywhere.
All right, so let's on that note, let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Do you want to feel clean or refreshed after using the bathroom, whether at home, work, or play? Welcome to My Smart Toilet Seats. All of our products wash your private parts after using the bathroom without the use of your hands. Let's hear what our national table tennis champion, Damian Dublin, has to say.
I tried it and it works. There are 4 options. Simply add an attachment to your existing toilet seat, or choose a non-electric seat, or better, an electric seat that washes and dries you with warm water and air. Lastly, get a complete smart toilet that also flushes itself. What are you waiting for? Get your smart toilet seat today. Be smart, be refreshed, be clean, be a winner like me.
Our smart toilet seat is available throughout St. Vincent at retail outlets with the orange flags. You can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website at justwashit.vc.
Yes, sir.
Our industry relies on all of us to play our part. We take pride in showcasing our beautiful island, our craft, our cuisine, and our warm Vincentian hospitality.
Each of us play a crucial role in showcasing our vibrant tourism industry.
We can create spaces where visitors can unwind, connect with nature, and embrace tranquility of our beautiful surroundings.
We need everyone on board to help us create an exceptional experience for our guests.
Join us at our National Tourism Community Consultations as we shape the future of tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's everyone's business. Yeah, live it, love it, embrace it.
That's the sound of your animals. Strong, healthy, and delivering yields you love. That didn't just happen. It began with you feeding them only the best. East Caribbean Feeds. Rest assured, we only produce your feeds with premium ingredients, no hormones, no animal byproducts, just everything your animal needs for maximum nutrition. Because your animals deserve only the best. East Caribbean Feeds from Maximum Nutrition.
This Heroes Month, let's celebrate our heroes. Let's say cheers to our everyday heroes. Let's say cheers with 4 ice-cold high room beers for $10. That's right, the Heroes 4 for 10 special is back. Grab your High Rune limited edition 4-pack at participating locations nationwide from March 11th to 24th and say cheers with High Rune to all our everyday heroes. Cheers with your 4 for 10 today, because everyone can be a hero to someone. Must be 18 and over. Enjoy responsibly.
Nothing else sounds as good as WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
The world has become such a cruel place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
All righty, so we are back with our cop chat session for today. And so I don't embarrass myself. Let me pull up this flyer. And in studio with us, we have Mr. Edson Smith, Corporal of Police, Mr. Simeon Bacchus, Public Relations Officer of the Belvedere Neighborhood Watch, and Mr. Ronnie Daniel, Committee Member of the Belvedere Neighborhood Group. All right, so we are continuing our discussion. So, Mr. Bacchus, do you have any questions?
Yeah, me too. But let me just read a comment on WhatsApp. Remember the WhatsApp number and number to call, 457-9997. Let's get interactive. And you can also drop a comment or question on our live at WFM99 SVG on Facebook and YouTube. Somebody says, good morning. Oh, very good program. Neighborhood Watch is a very good thing. It could enhance the community, bring back the good old days, but it will work as long as there is no Judas within that group. Some of the challenges that you have faced, and I'm going to ask both of you, the police and the neighborhood group, the watch group, sorry. What are some of the challenges that you have faced or are facing right now? Let's start with the group.
Okay, so presently we have the years when they used to have people volunteering. It is more difficult now for persons to volunteer. So what we have is, like all other organizations, there's a core group that does the work and the others just follow. Like we'll have a turnout at meetings, right? But when come to do the things, the actual things, and we saw that during our lighting up preparations, we hardly had persons join in with us. Like we used to go down into the community and solicit funds to buy lights and wires and so on. And there were just 5 of us out of the whole community will go down and talk to neighbors and so on. When come to the lighting up, they actually running the lights and putting all the decorations and so on. That also was not well attended. Some persons, obviously, some of them were working during the time that we were setting up, and others were just busy with other activities. that's a challenge that we are facing right now.
Sounds very much like the challenge of a voluntary service organization.
Yes.
So they tend to go through, yes.
Yes, but so I say volunteerism is actually
Mhm.
not catching on, and I would like to encourage us today and St. Vincent on a whole, St. Vincent and Grenadines on a whole, to start our children, to start teaching our children to volunteer.
Mhm.
If we start teaching our children to volunteer, like you in school, volunteer to answer a question, for instance, that the teacher may ask, or volunteer to tie somebody's shoelace. That sort of thing. Once you start volunteering, you will love it. And I can only say from my experience, it has a lot of spill-off.
Mhm.
So I just want to encourage persons to come forward and volunteer to do something.
Okay, and from the police?
Yes, I believe one of the major problems, not just within watch groups, that fail over time, but with regards to community safety in general, is the big alarming point is communication. Look at the times we're living in. 10 years ago, we were not even being able to probably stream live on this medium. So the technology has definitely improved, but for some reason, it is not trickling down or spreading out from observation to even police knowledge. We have WhatsApp, we have Facebook Messenger. A lot of times, and I confront this on a regular basis, people observe strange individuals, and we were speaking about it outside before the program. They would observe, a strange person, and they keep the information to themselves. They don't want to, want nobody shoot me.
They don't take a picture from a distance and say, this person?
Well, I would love for that to happen on a regular basis.
No, listen. I'll be very honest.
The way that question was structured.
No, I'll be very honest. If I'm looking out my window and I see a strange individual, I am taking a picture from my window and would ask the community persons around, do you know this person?
This is something that we encourage. That's commendable that you do that. And the information is not passed on. We used to be St. Vincent on the whole, we used to be more collective and community minded. Now we are more adopting a more Western individualistic approach to interaction. And this is affecting us because St. Vincent is not a big place. So a lot of times we see strange people in our communities, and because we want to stick to ourselves, we don't even want to friendly, in a friendly manner approach these people. So I would see, I've never met Mr. Daniel before, and I am afraid to say, I can't place a face. Where are you from? I hope you're having a good morning.
Ask the questions.
Ask a question. And that question could be able to justify an intent. If a person doesn't have any, they're not looking for land, they don't have any family there, they don't know anybody in the community. Why are you loitering?
Where you from?
You don't have to make
Where
it.
you
You don't
going?
ask them. You don't have to ask them where you're from, but the approach, goes a very long way. And witness cooperation as well. People, and I mean, the police have to take some blows where this is concerned because, past or designated duty points or the area of operation. If I'm attached to this particular station, when I go home, a lot of times, you might be hesitant to even want to get involved in my own community activities, because you value rest. But at the end of the day, if you adopt a neighborhood watch group, it could help. It could help with even how you dispatch your job. And, police always communicate among the ranks. So that if I know this particular officer is a member of a part of a particular area, I could always, reach out to him and say, this particular person, we're looking for this person. You see this person in the area, and it could, and those are just those to the communication, witness cooperation when an incident takes place. And you meet a lot of people who are hesitant to even give police information that would even help until the problem comes to their doorstep. They don't want to. A lot of times you don't see people willing to take part, to volunteer information.
Right. Okay. So somebody was trying to call in, but I didn't want to break the chain of conversation here. So just to let you know that I might just indicate that a call is coming through. I'm going to try to take that to get continue to be interactive. All right, so some more questions. You were gonna.
All right, no. So I think in relation to what Mr. Daniel said, with the property, the land of somebody who is overseas and reaching out to that person and asking or suggesting that the land be cut for safety concerns of persons within the community. And as I was telling Krista while you guys were discussing, was I think one of the problems that we may be facing is that persons may not see it as it being their problem, right? I can easily see that that person could have said, okay, so I'm not living here. That doesn't have to be my concern. And one of the things with the neighborhood watches is that you have to not just think of yourself. We have to have that community mindedness in that the actions of one person can have implications for the other members within the community. So I think even in that regard, because that person is overseas, they really don't have to concern about you walking the street late at night or a young lady coming home late from work. So I mean, I think within the community groups themselves, persons also need to be mindful of, it's a collective effort, right? But how do you actually get persons to join the neighborhood watch though?
We walk into the community and we invite persons to join. We also, right now, not right now, we have been targeting our young people, our youths. And so we started a football team some years ago. It's actually the want of gears that caused that team to disintegrate. That and also the situation at the Brighton playing field that the Football Federation was having that sort of control over. And so several times we went there and we saw the playing field was not in a good state to play and all that. But I think it has been improved right now. But we managed to recruit about 28 young men to join the team, to join the football movement. And so they're practicing and so on from time to time. And we were in the process of getting gears for them so that we can encourage them to stick together. And our vision really was to see that they do not go into crime. So it sort of helps to protect the community. So, and we made some very good friends in those young men. They are still with the concept of the neighborhood watch group. Some of them would help us in the lighting up and so on. But how do we bring people in? We just simply invite them. There isn't a carrot or anything that you can say, come and you will get this.
Okay, the call is coming through. Let's take it. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. I'm enjoying your program this morning.
Thank you.
About 30 years ago, I bought a piece of land. The seller was the panoramic view where I'm living, right? All of a sudden, in the last 30 years, my neighbor let all their trees go right up, completely block me up, blocking out my view. Is there any legal rights have I got, or that the lawyer said Wilson can assist here?
So
are you listening?
We're hearing, yes.
What you
Is
can
there any situation about that?
what you can do is what Mr. Daniel.
Well, the panoramic view, right? I bought it in 1986. So 30 years on plus. All the trees at my place like a jogger, block out all the lights, eh?
Okay. All right. So the officer will respond.
Now, I was suggesting what you can do is what Mr. Daniel would have asserted earlier, to probably reach out to the owner for the land, and nothing is wrong with volunteering to assist with the fees, or we get any person. I don't know of your capabilities, but what I know I do is, if it's bothering me, I would chop down the areas that that pose an immediate threat to me. So you don't have to go on the whole property and cut down the land. If you notice that is a lot of overgrown land or whatever. So you could reach out to the owner, volunteer to help with take off $45 off the load. use the initiative to to help the situation, because it's something that is paramount to your safety and the community safety as well. So I would suggest that, and be polite. Don't go with a combative approach.
Thing you have to call you. Somebody has to call you. I'm on you now.
All right. So what we would do, we would take our final break at this time, and then we would wrap up. Okay. So we will return un momento.
First National Bank says get the home you've always wanted with zero down. That's right, as we celebrate more than 85 years of being here for you as the first indigenous bank, we're giving 85 individuals 100% financing to achieve their dream of home ownership. This is possibly the most important decision you'll ever make. 100% financing for your dream home. Call or come into First National Bank today and ask about our zero down payment 100% financing for mortgages. First National Bank, here for you.
At Lynch Caribbean, yes, we offer comprehensive insurance solutions and broking. But we are more than an insurance broker. We drill down to your core business strategy. We keep a pulse on risk to keep your operations healthy.
On your mark, get set.
Along the way, helping you to drive competitive advantages. At Lynch Caribbean, we have your back. Contact us today for insurance solutions, strategic risk advisory, and more. Call 453-3300. Email info@lynchcaribbean.com or visit our office in Beachmont, Kingston. Follow Lynch Caribbean SVG on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or visit www.lynchcaribbean.com.
Ready, set, serve. Singer, your favorite family store, is now online. Log on today at www.singersvg.com and enjoy our store and products right at your fingertips. Now online are your trusted brands that you have come to love. Refrigerators to chest freezers, gas cookers to toasters, air fryers, mattresses, living room sets, and so much more. Browse our products, check the specs, compare brands and prices, and request parts all online. We have also made bill payments easier, more convenient, and simpler just for you. Log on to www.singersvg.com to learn more. Singer, your family company is keeping up with you and the times. Visit our website today and experience a whole new world of Singer, your trusted online family company.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
Nothing else sounds as good as
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
The world has become such a cruel place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in our use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
All All right, so we are back for the final moments of our COP chat discussion today. And reminder that we have in studio with us Edson Smith, Corporal of Police, Mr. Simeon Backus, Public Relations Officer of the Belvedere Neighborhood Group, as well as Mr. Ronnie Daniel, Committee Member of the Belvedere Neighborhood Group as well. All right, and in case you just joined us, you missed a very good program, but the topic that we're speaking on today is Belvedere Neighborhood Watch, working together for safer communities. So at this time, we'd allow you the opportunity to wrap up today's discussion. Whoever wants to take the lead.
Well, I just want to say thanks to WEFM and of course to the police, the complaints, the public relations and complaints department for the collaboration. Just to remind our listeners and persons in the Belvedere Brighton area that the meeting is on the 4th of April at 5:30 at the Ebenezer Gospel Hall. That's the church on the stretch as you enter the general Brighton area. Well, persons will know who live in the area where that is. But the meeting is on is it Thursday the 4th at 5:30, and we invite residents and members in the adjoining communities as they are able to come out. ASP Trevor Bailey would be attending, or his office will be attending. We're not too sure.
He will be.
He would, yes. So ASP Trevor Bailey would be in attendance, and he will share, critical information to household owners and persons who live in the communities generally about tips what they can do to enhance safety in the communities and their household and so on. So we invite persons to come out and to invite their neighbors and friends to come out as well. Just to say. But we had for a long time been quoting the St. Vincent and Grenadines Table Tennis Association. They had table tennis board because outside of football, we had recognized years ago that we have a lot of young people, a lot of young men and children in the Brighton, because you could imagine it's a big residential area, and we had been promised a table tennis board, which is still on the books, but we can't find a space. And so I want to use this opportunity to say to persons or residents who may have a space that we could use, a central space. We could put a table tennis board so we could get going with that program. But critically too, we also want to let homeowners know and parents that we, in a few weeks' time, we are hoping to engage our young people and the police to this was all 2 meetings ago. This meeting was held since last year. But we want to start a police youth club in the area because we have a lot of children and young people. And that's one of the initiatives going forward over the next couple of weeks and months that we want to initiate as a new initiative, as part of our general focus on youth. I just want to say thank you on behalf of the organization and to encourage persons to continue to be vigilant and to if they are not part of a community group or watch group, that now is the time to start one. So thank you very much on behalf of the group.
Yeah. I just want to say that application forms are available to join the Belvedere Neighborhood Watch Group. And we also believe in networking. So we also network with the other neighborhood watch groups around. If there's a trend that is going on, we'll be informed about it. So let us come together and see about each other. We have to be our brother's keeper.
All right, just one question. As you mentioned the application form, so do you have social media pages?
We have a Facebook page, but it has not been updated. Okay. We are still waiting on somebody who can assist us with that.
Perhaps you could give a number.
Contact, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the contact numbers are for the president, Mr. Keith Miller. His number is 491-100-1033. My number, Simeon Backus, I'm the public relations officer. The number is 454-4595. Those are the 2 numbers that you can reach us at.
Okay.
Yes, thanks again for having me. And before I leave, I would be remiss if I didn't leave some tips, to help to prevent crimes, burglaries, robberies in St. Vincent, especially burglaries, seeing that it's a very concerning, it's happening at a very concerning level. One of the things you could always do is to always promote vigilance. We see a lot of things and we neglect it, we treat it as nothing. If you notice that your neighbor has the knack to keep the door open, to keep a particular window open, to move a certain way, don't be afraid to approach them, to remind them or encourage them to change, any activity that could promote burglaries, because this is something that has been robbing a lot of people of their safety. Another thing is, don't be afraid to, yes, the power bill high, but the host would have mentioned to light up your area. Don't be afraid to source solar lights, time lights, areas that the back of your house, there's the sensor lights that would come on if, a person of a certain height, it's looking about. Don't be afraid to light up your exterior. Look into, or always give the appearance of occupancy in your community. If you leave in your house, at a particular time you want to go to church, to night church, to a party or whatever, leave the television on, a light on. Don't just leave your house in complete darkness. Some people might have to look into getting a dog or two. They have an extra sense. They know that they could smell a different odor, fragrance from a very far distance. And I want to also encourage the listening and viewing audience, to don't be afraid to organize. Organization could start with a WhatsApp group. It would eventually, develop into a watch group, a neighborhood watch group. But if you live on a street, there's nothing wrong with starting a community chat, and always send your observations. If you see people loitering, man and woman alike, we spoke about that earlier, sometimes they would use women to carry out these nefarious acts. Don't be afraid to organize. Don't be afraid to come together and make your community safer. And I mean, as we're going forward, Easter is coming up. We're going through the Lenten season. Use the opportunity to promote the right approach, to deal with people, speak with them differently, to don't be afraid to approach people, to ask questions, but always be mindful of your approach. That's all I have to say for that.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a quick question. It was generated by some chat here. Is there any truth to what is being reported about chemicals being used?
Well, I know what I could say is that that those incidences are being investigated currently.
Okay.
If there is a particular fear in a community where people would have been using a strange substance, there are measures that you could put in place to prevent that, which is to secure your doors. And if you're sleeping close to a window and you keep your window open, probably put the head to the different side of the bed, because I mean they have to have access to one of your nasal passage or your mouth to even have the chance to spray a chemical. I'm not sure of what chemical is being used. If there is a chemical used at all, I would have read a report regarding that. But as to the knowledge, I don't have any knowledge of that being a trend. I don't know if it's isolated or I don't know if it's a trend. But if there is a concern, there are little things that you could do. Secure your compound. If your bed head is close to a window, because I mean you want the breeze to be natural breeze to blow. You probably need to put the bed head in a different corner, change the layout of your room and stuff. I don't know if that answers your question.
The inconvenience caused by these
having to do
criminals.
it, Yeah.
Anyways,
it's better to take back the power. It's better that you inconvenience yourself for the ultimate goal of your safety than to have to, feel powerless in the face of these crimes. So,
all right, then. Unfortunately, we have to bring the program to an end. We're a little bit over time as well. I want to say thank you so much for joining us, and it's been an absolute pleasure as usual. All the best, and I hope that this conversation encourages people to not only form watch groups but actually form community groups.
Thank you for
All
having
right.
us.
All right, take care.
All right. So the time here is now 9:08, and at this time we will present to you today's ECC